more we value things outside of our control, the less control we have. Either we want something or we want to keep something, so we pursue the desire, but fail over and over again to the point where it becomes predictable and even depressing. This is the part where I tell you to never give up, and while you shouldn't give up, I believe I have something that might help you out. It's called the power of letting things go. And no, they're not the same thing. The benefits are as follows. It's a quick, easy way to relieve stress. It can make it easier for our desires to be attracted to us, believe it or not. Overall, it can improve the quality of our life since we're not overly obsessed with this one thing anymore. However, I do think the concept behind letting things go can easily be misinterpreted. But luckily for us, our trusty friend Gumball and his wonderful show will explain how to do this in a way that will make it simple. The story I want to talk about today is called The Possession. This episode revolves around this fridge that has been with the Watterson family for generations. Nicole, the mother in the family, wants her husband, Richard, to get rid of it because it's broken. However, he doesn't want to get rid of it because he has so many memories with it. Over the years, he's grown a sentimental attachment to it. It's kind of like that nostalgic feeling we get from an old video game console or from an old photo. Letting go of prized possessions can feel like throwing a chunk of your childhood away. So of course, the idea of getting rid of the fridge is painful for him, but he still tries his best to get rid of it regardless. The first step to let something go is to admit that it does hurt to do so. Just look at Richard. He isn't afraid to cry like a baby, and you shouldn't be either. As Darwin puts it,
"It's okay to be sad, Mr. Dad. It's perfectly normal."
Without acceptance, we'll always be in denial, and Richard's man tears help him with that. So a couple of scenes go by, and conveniently for him, he has little to no luck finding someone who wants the fridge. So he decides the best thing to do would be to just keep it. Wink wink. But we all know the real reason being that he simply doesn't want to let it go. His children beg him to just get rid of it already, but he immediately rejects that idea. After that, the fridge goes absolutely berserk, sucking up Richard in the process. We then find out that the fridge was never meant to be used as a fridge in the first place. According to the person who sold it, using it as a lifelong emotional crutch is what made it go insane. After finding out the horrible news, Nicole and Richard's mother go inside the fridge to save Richard. They find him half frozen and clearly controlled by his memories. The more attached he becomes to the fridge, the more he freezes up. I believe there is an analogy here with the ice portraying someone who is stuck or addicted to something with no escape, ultimately becoming disconnected from life. That's what happens when we put someone or something on a pedestal and over-exaggerate its importance. Life freezes and doesn't go anywhere. In order to melt the ice, we have to let it go. In this case, Nicole attempts to help Richard reconsider his decision to keep the fridge forever, but he has his reasons.
"But if it goes, all my memories will go too."
What stops the average person from letting go is the idea that all the efforts and memories will be wasted. This is a limiting belief, one that we think is true, but doesn't have to be. Although, open-mindedness becomes a real factor here because without it, our door will never be open to new possibilities. But those with optimism and open-mindedness have a higher chance of attracting future success in ways that they could never imagine.
It's just an object. You'll still remember all those things without it.
You'll always have your memories. You don't need to hang on to possessions.
Life is like a series of waves. While riding a wave, you enjoy it as much as you can, but eventually that wave will pass. But the good news is there will always be more waves, new waves to ride. Sure, we could take pictures, but we'll always have the memories and lessons regardless. This episode tells the audience that it's important to remember the difference between a need and a want. Richard doesn't need the fridge because it is not mandatory for his survival. After he lets it go, he immediately feels better afterwards. That feeling can be surprising, but that's what happens when we finally choose to move on from a particular object or subject. That's why whenever you read or listen to minimalists, they often mention how much better they feel now that they have less things to worry about, less responsibilities. As a consolation prize, by the end of the episode, he is rewarded with a new refrigerator that is less dangerous. Life can do that sometimes. There's a phrase that goes, "As one door closes, another one opens." Although, staying true to this mindset requires a profound level of trust and faith in the way the universe will guide us to our destination. Again, letting go should not be confused with giving up. Think about it like loosening one's grip while riding a horse. Action is still required on our part. It's just about not focusing on it so much anymore, not trying so hard, and instead just going with the flow and living life. It's okay to have desires, but it's important to balance our hard work with letting go. It's important to have trust that the universe will handle the things we cannot control. With that mindset, we will be rewarded. Thanks for watching.